In the fall of 1990, the mayor of Miami gave a man his own city holiday. He called him one of the most respected religious leaders in the city. The man being honored wore flowing white robes and claimed to be the reincarnated Messiah. His name was Yahweh Ben Yahweh. 30 days later, the FBI arrested him. He was born Hulon Mitchell Jr. in Oklahoma in 1935, the oldest of 15 children of a Pentecostal minister. He served in the military, earned a degree in psychology, and a master's in economics. He joined the Nation of Islam in the 1960s, then left it. By the time he arrived in Miami in 1978, he had moved through Black Christianity, Islam, and Hebrew Israelite theology. He understood, at a level very few people do, what desperate people need to hear and who they are willing to follow. In Miami's Liberty City, a neighborhood gutted by crack cocaine and abandonment, Mitchell built something nobody else had managed to build. Followers lived communally in a complex they called the Temple of Love. They sold Yahweh-branded goods, surrendered their paychecks, and pooled money into real estate. At the group's peak, those holdings were valued at $9 million. Miami's political class called him a savior of the ghetto. They were not entirely wrong about what he had constructed. They were entirely wrong about what it cost. Inside the temple, questioning Yahweh's authority meant beatings. Leaving meant something worse. In 1981, a former member named Aston Green left the group. He was found in the Florida Everglades, decapitated. When his roommates went to police with what they knew, they were ambushed outside their front door. Carlton Carey was shot dead. Mildred Banks was shot and struck with a machete. She survived. Miami police had unsolved murders. They did not yet have a picture of what they were looking at. Buried inside the Nation of Yahweh was a secret group. Yahweh called them the Brotherhood, or sometimes his death angels. Membership required proof. According to court records and trial testimony, to join you had to kill a white person and return with a body part as evidence: an ear, a finger, a head. Between April and October of 1986, members of the Brotherhood went into Miami on multiple occasions, carrying that specific instruction. One of the Brotherhood's most active members was Robert Rozier, a former NFL defensive end who had joined the Temple of Love in 1982 after his football career ended. In April of 1986, Rozier dressed in street clothes, tucked a 12-inch knife inside his jacket, and walked into Coconut Grove looking for a stranger to kill. He found one. Then he found a second man in the same apartment and killed him too. Rozier later confessed to murdering at least 4 people on behalf of Yahweh. He was not alone in that. In September of 1986, Rozier and another death angel found a 61-year-old man named Raymond Kelly unconscious in a bar parking lot. They stabbed him. Then they cut off one of his ears. When they dropped it in the dark and could not locate it, they went back to the body and cut off the other. They brought it to Yahweh. In 1986 alone, 9 people were killed across Miami-Dade County with their ears removed. Police had the bodies. They did not yet have the reason. By 1990, a federal investigation was already open. Reports of violence, financial exploitation, and the alleged abuse of young girls inside the temple had appeared in press accounts and advocacy organization reporting. None of it stopped Miami Mayor Xavier Suarez from declaring October 7, 1990, Yahweh Ben Yahweh Day, and praising him publicly as a respected religious leader. Suarez later said the proclamation was initiated by a city commissioner and that he had met Yahweh only once. 30 days after that ceremony, FBI agents arrested Mitchell at a hotel in New Orleans. The federal trial ran from January to May of 1992. Rozier, facing his own murder convictions, became the prosecution's central witness. Defense attorneys challenged his credibility throughout, arguing that a confessed killer seeking leniency had every reason to shape his testimony. The jury convicted Yahweh Ben Yahweh of conspiracy to commit murder, but acquitted him on the racketeering charges that would have tied him directly to the killings. He was sentenced to 18 years and served 11. His defense attorney was Alcee Hastings, who later became a United States congressman. Yahweh Ben Yahweh was released on parole in 2001. He died of prostate cancer on May 7, 2007. He was 71 years old. 6 days later, nearly 500 white-clad followers gathered in a Florida ballroom to mourn him. They drove white Lincolns and white Lexuses. They called his death an ascension. The man convicted of conspiracy in connection with 14 murders was mourned like a prophet. The nation of Yahweh still exists. The question this story leaves behind is not how a monster hides, it is how clearly a monster can stand in the open and still not be seen.